Hi heaven ho, this is LIS and today I'll be giving you incoming future 10 of Space Shinobis, a brief guide on how to fight all of Warframe's main planet bosses. The main bosses of Warframe are known as assassination missions, which have one in each and every planet in the star chart. They drop various items like resources, mods, and even blueprint parts of certain Warframes and weapons. This means that defeating these bosses give massive benefits, as it gives you new Warframes, weapons, and mods to try out, and empower your gear builds to be able to face stronger adversaries. Let me introduce you to each of those following bosses sorted from faction to faction. Captain Var is, well, of course, a Grenier captain. He has about a few phases until he finally dies, and the best way to deal with those is shoot him to death. The heavy gunner like Grenier Lieutenant-elect Krill is a bit tricky. Directly attacking him is not a viable option this time, as he has invulnerability gating on most of his body parts. However, there are parts which exposes his vulnerability, and that is his backpack. It consists of tubes that can be attacked. Shoot all of those tubes off and also attack him while he does a self-frozen slam attack in each cut tube transition to make sure, after all of those tubes are shot off, he will overheat and expose his full vulnerability. Now this time, shoot him to death. Councillor Varrick is decently tricky to the point where it can be annoying at times. He has 3 stages. First stage is the constant fight segments in each room of the mission. The best way to easily finish that is, believe it or not, skipping it and proceed further into the next rooms of the mission until you get to the last room of the mission. Now the second stage is the real fight. He has invulnerability on most of his body parts as well, and the vulnerable ones are his face and his radio stock thingy. They only get exposed once Varrick starts talking live radio style, where he has his face and radio thingy emit orange waves. This is an opportunity to shoot him to death. One notable tip to make it easier to hit those parts is to use Nova's 4 skill or Rhino's 4 skill, which freezes him for a moment. After that stage is done, he will then jump into his Terraframe in prep for the final showdown. Now the way to fight him this time is shoot him to death, or better, Warframe 4 skill shred him to death. Kayla the Thane is mechanics heavy, so you may need to have a team of players to deal with her, as her main mechanics requires it to make it a fight easier. There are 3 stages of the mechanics of the boss fight. The first is the start stage, where it requires you to shoot the target wall while stepping on one of the paths. Second stage is the direct fight with her up and personal. After taking off a decently large portion of her health, she'll move on to the third stage, which is a break from each of her second stages. In it is just the same as the first stage. Shoot the target while stepped on an activation pad. This time, there's a time limit, and if you did not finish it in time, there will be an airstrike that deals lethal damage. Dodge this by the bullet jump roll combo in rounds of the arena until it restarts the stage for another go. Finishing that third break stage goes back to the second stage. Do this 2-3-2 stage process and she is down and out. Till Reger is a pretty straightforward fight. He has 3 stages. Most of them are just straight up fighting you. First is direct fight against him. It can be annoying as he teleports all over the place, so the best way to easily attack him is to go melee. It prompts him to do a combo. Just strike him until he wields his sword and shield, and that is where you back off and shoot him. After depleting a portion of his health, he moves on to the second stage, this time summoning Manix. Fight and kill all of them first in order for him to show up for a direct fight. Then after gravely wounding him, the next third stage is summoning now Manix and Manic Bombards. Defeat all of them and he will show up for the final showdown. Now time to murder him to death. General Sargas Rook is a tricky one, as all of his body parts are immune to damage. This one is a methodical mean this time, as the only way to damage him is to carefully observe him as he roasts you to a crisp. Yep, the best way to avoid his attacks and easily just focus on him is to use Rhino with his 2 ability. Now there are 3 parts that will light up. First is the shoulder pad, where after some time of him trying to roast your booty, his shoulder pad will pop off and show a bright light. Attack the shoulder pad while it's still lit. The pad explodes and moves on to the next part to light up, which is the chest plate. Attack his chest plate while it's lit, then after that, his chest explodes and his last vulnerable part is his back plates. Now attack it while it's lit up and he is extinguished. The Sergeant is a pretty straightforward boss fight. Like very straightforward. Why? Just shoot him to death. Alright, boom, he died it. Alright, moving on! The Raptors is a decently straightforward boss fight, as most of the time you will directly fight them to the death. However, it has 3 stages. First stage is the first Raptor. Kill it and grab its module and rush to the net pit to drop it. This explodes the first summoning engine. Now kill the second Raptor, then grab the module and drop it to the second summoning engine. Do that same process to the last Raptor and mission complete. The Ambulance is a mechanics-heavy boss fight, and to sum up how to finish it is a similar mission, which is the Mobile Defense mission. First thing to do is to fight and take down the Ambulance. After knocking it out, it is open for hacking. Hack it and then defend it, as your homie Ergo Blast will reprogram it and prompts you to knock out and reprogram more of them in prep for his counter-strike on his rival Fraud Beck. After knocking out and reprogramming a decent amount of them, the mission is complete, and you will see Fraud Beck's unaware retrieval have his spaceship destroyed. Alad V is an indirect boss fight. Now the way to fight him is to shoot him until he is knocked out. This will prompt his Zanuka to revive him. Attack his Zanuka before it revives him, as once you do kill Zanuka, Alad V dies. There is also an alternative way where you fight and kill Zanuka first to secure a straightforward kill of Alad V. The Hyena Pack is a very straightforward boss fight. All you literally have to do is to directly fight and kill the hyenas one by one. Boom, mission complete. The Jackal is an indirect boss fight. In it, you first have to attack its legs until its HP is all gone, staggering down the Jackal. Use that opportunity to attack its head and body, which is its main HP. Attack its legs, breaking it, then transitioning it to its head and body until it's destroyed. The Juggernaut Behemoth is a methodical one. Most of its body parts are immune to damage, so directly attacking it won't do. This time you need to observe its attacks, mainly its slow stomp attack and its back spike shoot attack, as its spike attack exposes its open frontal, a whole thingy. The stomp one, however, is the easiest one, as it opens up its rear lit part. Immediately attack it with your strongest strike, as this will easily kill it. This boss, however, gets trivialized if powerful Warframe abilities are used, like Excalibur's 4 ability. The Jordiz Golem is decently straightforward. Also, an Arcwing is required to enter, so you may need to finish the quest that unlocks the Arcwing. Now the best way to directly deal damage to it is to attack its rear jetpack parts. This may not be easy, as it can get tedious if your arc gun is not strong enough, so I suggest you grind your arc gun and forma it before facing this boss solo. I suggest you use a Grappler, which is 2 to 3 formad at least, and spam damage mods, mainly the elemental mods that mix radiation or better corrosive damage. This will easily kill the Golem. Salad V is a very indirect boss fight, and you may need a partner at least, or better a team, to easily kill him. So basically this guy is immune to all of your damage, and there is no leeway, like a part that exposes vulnerability after some time like Rook. No, you just have to wait until Solid V throws his collar at a random player. This makes him vulnerable. The other uncolored players must attack him during his mind control of the targeted player. Do this until he dies. There are some attacks where he removes his collar, but damaging him to a point where he easily dies is highly unlikely. The Lefantes is mechanics heavy. There are 2 stages. The first stage is the 3 Hydra-like heads, where you need to shoot them until they all get knocked out. It's not straightforward as all these heads have specific parts that are vulnerable at some moments, such as the infested corpus has the mouth open once it attacks. Then the infested ancient has its furl throat open once it attacks. Then the infested Grenier has its face open and also its monster mouth open as it attacks with either a swing or a slam. Knock out all of these heads and then the second stage starts. This time, its full body shows up. Now do the same thing like in first stage to attack the Lefantes until it dies. A full team of players with good guns, mainly slash and corrosive ones, is recommended in easily killing it. The Forid is a very straightforward one. Just shoot it to death, or easily kill it with your Warframe exalted abilities. Boom! Forid died. Nice. Moving on. Anyways, this is my brief guide on how to beat all of Warframe's main planet bosses. If you like what you see, please leave a like and join the High Heaven Hunters by subscribing. See you later and stay up!